What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Food Fitness Family Podcast. It is Big Daddy Blankenship at your service today with the ever so Mr. Beautiful Marcus Gates. He is growing a little bit of facial hair, so he looks like he is about to be 18. And we have the just as beautiful Mr. Liam Kraus today.
What's
How
up,
we doing,
guys?
everybody?
Welcome, Liam.
Thank you. I'm excited. It's been a long time coming.
Yep, we have Liam on today. We're going to talk mainly bodybuilding training or any type of training. Liam has been badgering me for about 6 years to get on this podcast. No, I'm
That's
just kidding.
not true. He
But
told
first, before
he
we
told
dive,
me I was going to be on there, and then it's been
yeah,
like
I
six
did.
months. So
Hey, it's been have we been doing it that long already?
Bro, we've been with Zones for a year. We're
Really?
we're
Oh my
coming.
god!
We might have already surpassed a year, to be honest.
We gotta look. We gotta have at least like 13 followers now.
Something like that, man. We started doing it on IG around like June, I think, of last summer. I don't know when we turn it into a podcast actually, but I think it's right around this time. We can go back and look pretty easily.
We'll have to go back and look at when our first episode came out.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, let's get into our last 7 days before we get rolling. Marcus,
Yeah.
I'll let you start today.
Damn, I
It's
wasn't
that
prepared.
facial hair, man. It's that
I-
facial hair.
it's better than it used to, but I still got just fucking patches, man. Anyway,
if you just start some tests, it'll fill out real quick, dude.
if I start some what?
Some tests,
Yes.
testosterone.
The
You'll be good.
vitamin T.
Yes.
Vitamin
Yeah.
T.
Oh, damn it. One of these days. But no, so last 7 days I've been trying to grow a beard, as we are just talking about. Outside from that, I strained my groin doing the same weight as Liam's woman on split squats. So that made me feel amazing. Outside of that, signed up a couple new clients this week, so that was good. But we had a baby shower, first of a couple, on last Sunday, and I think that's really about it, man. How about you guys?
Man, you know what, Liam? I'll let you go. I'll let you go second.
All right.
We'll go in order of shittiest beard to best beard.
All right. Yeah, I'll take that. A lot's honestly happened to me in the last 7 days. So as you stated, I'm a bodybuilder, and I actually recently left my coach just temporarily. Yeah, I know.
God, I feel like I miss so much when I'm not in the gym.
I know, yeah. Just temporarily because I started school up. I'm in quite a few hours. I'm working, and the past semester I felt like not, obviously I want to keep a balanced life, for the most part. At some point, there's got to be, shifts in your balance and stuff like that. But I felt like some things in my life were neglected that shouldn't have been a little bit. And I wasn't giving, my all to school and stuff like that. So I just decided to take a little break here, kind of do my own thing. I'm in a great position to, push my body weight up. And I think I'm very capable of doing that. So we're just taking a little break. But besides that, nothing major. This upcoming week is Gianni's birthday, so we're gonna go to Urban Air this weekend. But besides that, nothing crazy.
Oh, is that your boy's name? I've never actually known his name, but I talk to him for at least 10 minutes every time I see him at the gym.
Yep. His name's Gianni. He's not my biological son, but he is my son. So
Yes, he is.
So what do you go to school for again?
web development. So I build websites and stuff like that, and do all the coding and background knowledge of that kind of stuff.
Nice. Well, I think the whole bodybuilding thing, I think that shows like your maturity level. You know what I mean? That you were noticing that. A lot of people can't notice that to their own like self detriment. And
Exactly.
luckily for you, I think you surrounded yourself with so many great people and atmospheres that none of us are Justin.
Yeah.
But if you ever have questions, like there's plenty of people in your circle that you could reach out to.
Absolutely. And that
So
was a part
awesome.
of it too. With you and Will and other people that I trust their opinion. That was definitely a part of it. If I felt clueless, or if I felt like I didn't have people around me that could help guide me in the way I need to be, then I don't think I would have done that. I would have stayed with him, even though circumstances might not have been the best there. I still would have tried to make it work.
For sure, man. Well, I'm happy for you, dude.
Thanks.
God, I kind of the same. So much has happened to me the last 7 days. Let's see. Starting last week, I tore my pec bench pressing. You know how it always is, but I really don't know what to think about it. Like, it never bled, but I felt it. Like, I'm not a moron. Like, I felt it rip.
Yeah.
Had a huge loss of function on it. Like, I couldn't do anything. To even pick up, my 8 pound baby was in a lot of pain. But the doctor says it's torn. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's getting better by the day. I can do more things with it. I can pick up the baby now and not be in so much pain. I'm just waiting to get an MRI. I may have to get surgery. I may not. He told me, if I just kind of want to get back to a normal life, I should be fine. But if I want to be able to train again, then I'll probably need surgery. So at this point, I'm kind of just hoping for surgery because I've had so many issues with this pec for like the last 6 years that I'm just fucking over it and I just want to fix it.
Yeah.
God, I had like 4 consultations this week. I'm still in contact with all of them. They're all very interested. They just kind of all had unique situations going on at the time. Still adjusting to being a daddy. Today we had to go drop like $900. Vela had a tongue and a lip tie, so it was like really affecting the way that she was able to latch to Tatiana's breast.
Yep.
She was getting milk tongue, so I guess when you naturally rest, your tongue suctions to the top of your mouth, and it like your mouth like cleanses your tongue. That wasn't happening for her, so her tongue is like white. And then also her lip one was so tight that she couldn't like flare her lip out to latch. So it was almost
I gotcha.
like a knuckle down, and then she would start to like chew on Tatiana's nipple and like the bottle nipple instead of like sucking. So that was exhilarating. That was like a couple hours ago. Dude, other than that, man, things are good. Just trying to adjust to the 2 kid lifestyle. I'm going a little stir crazy at home, but it's been nice to be there for Tatiana and the baby. After Max was born, I had to leave within 12 hours of getting home from the hospital to go to work. So the fact that we're in a position that I can take some time is very nice, so very, very blessed.
Yeah, that's huge.
How you been
But
sleeping? How you been sleeping? I know we've kind of chatted about it, but I know that's a factor.
it's hit or miss. It has its nights. We've been trying to get up. The issue is that we get upstairs like 8 o'clock to go to bed, and we don't get to bed till like 11:30 because she just is up. So we'll try to get Tatiana to sleep around like 10, and then I'll do a bottle so she can like kind of skip a feeding. Um, and then she does the rest of the nighttime. I'll wake up, of course, but um, she does the feedings, and then I'm up in the morning to get Max ready for school, breakfast, all that good shit. So, and then like tonight, like as soon as we're done here, I have to take them to football practice. So it has its days. You know what I mean? I'm sure the next couple of days will be really rough with her mouth getting lasered open.
Oh yeah. Is she
Yeah,
in
no
pain with that?
Yeah, oh yeah, she's
Yeah.
still definitely in some pain. Yeah,
So, yeah, that'll be a rough few days. Hopefully she's all right though in the next couple days.
but you know what? Football starts next week, and I'm so excited.
So
Oh yeah.
excited.
Oh yeah.
Finally becoming a Chiefs fan, aren't you?
No, never.
You
Every
should
day,
be.
every day, I'm like, hey babe, guess what? This is like this morning. She's like, what? I'm like, 6 more days till football. She's like, God, I hope it fucking comes soon so you'll shut up.
I
I have
can't
another
wait.
draft tomorrow night and Sunday to finish out my fantasy rosters.
I got one on Tuesday, but I'm obviously pumped for the Chiefs game, but I'm really excited for that Monday night Jets and Bills game. That'll be fun to see how that
It'll be. I'm pumped to see Chris Jones holding out, and you guys just get the ball ran down your throat and
Nah,
then
we'll be
lose.
fucking
All right.
fine, dude. We got a
You'll have
stellar
to extend
defense.
them by week.
Relax.
Have to extend them by week 3 because you'll be
Dude,
0-3.
He'll just move Mahomes to the defense and we'll stop everybody with that too.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Just move Clyde's big ass.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
you don't do
fucking
nothing on offense. Just put him on the line.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's not doing anything
yeah.
right now anyway.
Yeah, no shit.
So, well, let's get into.
Let's do it. Liam, so we obviously know each other from the gym a little bit, but I don't really know a whole lot of about your background and whatnot. So, briefly just kind of tell us about who you are, where you come from, how old are you, all that good stuff. What is that you do? And then kind of tie that into how you got into bodybuilding. When did you start lifting, and then kind of speed us up through there.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Liam Kraus. 25 right now. I'm originally from Emporia, Kansas. I grew up there and pretty much, lived there a good majority of my life. My parents have been divorced, pretty much since I was like 2 or 3. So my dad always lived there, and then my mom, we kind of moved around a little bit. But I was always kind of around that area. So that's where I'm from. I graduated high school up in Iowa because that's where my stepfather's family lives, and we decided to move up there. Um, a little bit like my background to get me to where I am now. Like I was just, just it's pretty usual story. I was into sports and stuff like that,
What'd you play?
and I played football, basketball, and golf. Um, and I was just looking for an outlet afterwards. I always really enjoyed lifting, even though I didn't take it serious. In high school, I was just one of those kids that kind of just. I was always trying to be funny, always trying to fuck off, and just stuff like that. I didn't take it, anywhere near serious. So, but I did enjoy it. And so afterwards, I kind of got linked up with a guy. One of my mom's coworkers had a son who was pretty fit, and he offered, to just kind of show me the ropes and stuff like that. And so, honestly, it just was more just become athletic at the beginning, and then as I began lifting more and stuff like that, I just kind of my eyes drew to like bodybuilding and like how the physiques looked, and I always thought, like even the freaky guys, I was like, God, that's so awesome. I wish I could, do something like that. And eventually, I just kind of made, forged my own path into bodybuilding. And just through pretty much at the beginning was just through social media, just seeing people, and seeing how they trained and stuff like that. And then I went to college for a couple of years here. And during that time, I was, typical college student, just drinking a lot and then, partying on the
Hell yeah.
weekends. I was a weekend warrior, you know what I mean? Just lifted during the week and, you know, hit arms and chest and, just that kind of stuff. And then I took a year off school. Actually, I took 2 years off, and that's when I got way more into it, a lot more serious about it, and kind of. Then I linked up with my first coach, did my first show, and I think 2019. It's men's physique, so I don't know if you really count that,
I count it. That was my first count.
And then I did another show in 2020, and I've yet to compete since. So, but I'm not in any rush right now, especially with everything else that I got going on in my life. Like we talked about prior, I'm pretty much a husband. I'm a father, and I'm going to school full time. I'm still working 30 to 40, but right around 30 hours a week. So my plate's super full. And as you guys both know, how time consuming a prep and bodybuilding is, and how just right now is not the right time for me to
Yep.
compete, and I'm fine with that.
I always like this question. What is the first ad that you saw? Because we all have an ad. I know mine was like the Kai Green Muscle Meds carnivore ad with the
Yeah,
beanie like right here on his face. You know what I mean?
yeah.
What was the first one you
Honest,
saw that? Oh shit. Okay, I like that.
the first thing that I honestly remember seeing is, I don't even know if Walmart still has it, but I don't know if you guys remember, like Walmart used to have that aisle that was just magazines, right? Like
Oh yeah,
just
bro. It's
yeah,
just sit on the ground and just look at the pictures.
Yeah.
yeah. And this was when I was young, dude. I remember like probably like 10, 11, and I saw. I'm pretty sure it was Ronnie Coleman on a magazine cover, and I was just like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I always found it interesting after that. I was like, "How is that, even possible?" Um, and
Protein shakes and creatine, duh.
exactly, you just got to take that muscle tech, stuff, and you'll
Hell
get like
yeah.
that in 60 to 90
By
days.
that time, God, he was probably with BSN.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you. So yeah, that would have been like I might have even been younger than 10 because I was born in 98. So that would have been '08. He was done by then, for the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah.
So I might have even been younger.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember I worked at a GNC for like 6 months, and they had a picture of Ronnie on the wall when he was with BSN, and he was just
Huge.
insane. Yeah, he was curling. He looked like he had a garden hose in his bicep. Like it was just
Yep. That's what
absurd.
I specifically remember. His arm, and the size of it and the vein, you know, his massive
monstrous.
bicep
Yeah.
vein. And I was just like, I didn't know what to think at the time. You know, I probably honestly thought it was gross. I was like, oh, that's so disgusting, you know, but you know, looking back now, I'm sure it piqued my interest a little bit in
Yeah.
some way, you know.
Well, I'm kind of curious about a little bit of like your kind of driving force to get into bodybuilding, because number one, it sounds like you got done competing just like in sports from high school, and then it was like I need to
Yep.
find another competitive outlet, and that was obviously something you'd had drawn an interest with. But you're short like myself. I mean, I'm five
Yep.
six ish, 5'7" ish,
Yep.
5'6". I like to say 5'6". I'm like 5'6.5", but I like to say I'm 5'6", not 5'7". But
Yeah.
It's 5'5".
yeah, whatever. But Nicole tries to say she's 5'8". I'm like, you're not 2 fucking inches taller than me. I'm like, I'll give you an inch. You ain't no 2 inches taller than me. But so like my thing was all growing up, and especially when I first got in bodybuilding, I was like, I'm overlooked. At that point, I was probably before I really started training, I was like 160, 150, 140, whatever, and like 5'6". So I didn't turn any heads when I walked in the room. I was like, I'm not going to get any taller, but if I look better than everybody else, if I'm more muscular and wider than a lot of other people, then that's how I can turn a head. And so that was kind of what drew me to bodybuilding. Once I first started lifting a little bit, I was like, all right, this is cool to have attention with this. Was that anything like yours?
Yeah, it's pretty similar, honestly. Like I really, you know, I started, you know, right after high school. I mean, I got the first picture, you know, I got a picture and I think it was like May 31st of 2016 was when I started, you know, started
Cool.
really lifting. And I was 5'7", 155 pounds, you know, soaking wet probably.
Yeah.
Had, you know, noodle arms and, you know, still do, but um no, I was honestly, I think a lot of it was just insecurity, to be honest with you. You know, I've always had, you know, a poor self-image when I was in high school and stuff like that. Even though I acted the complete opposite,
Mm.
you know, and that was my way of, you know, kind of, you know, protecting myself. You
Of
know,
course.
I would act, you know, like I was, you know, a hard ass or whatever, and
Mhm.
you know, wasn't really liked, you know, because of that, and totally understandable now that I look back on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely came out of a place of insecurity, I would say. You know, I knew, you know, I wasn't the best athlete and stuff like that, and I just wanted to, you know, to build some self-confidence. I think some real self-confidence, not,
Yeah.
you know, fake.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, you know, now it's, you know, completely different. You know, I've, you know, evolved so much mentally, and, you know, my driving force now is just, you know, I want to become an IFBB pro. That's, you know, that's my goal.
He
And
wants a banner.
I do. I want a banner in that gym that says home of IFBB pro Liam Kraus, you know?
That'd be dope.
No, but yeah, I think,
I told
you
him I was
know,
going to give him this credit, and then underneath it is going to say, "You still suck," just to motivate him.
No, yeah, I mean, that's my ultimate goal right now is to become an IFBB pro in classic
Yeah.
physique. And you know, I'm trying to take every step I can, you know, to do that. And right now, you know, like I stated earlier, you know, the circumstances aren't the best, but I'm, you know, doing my best to make the most out of them here.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like Kayla mentioned earlier, just like the maturity. I mean, I know at 25, like balance wasn't always like my biggest thing. Obviously the years it's kind of become that. So it's awesome that even at 25, you've kind of developed that healthy balance between family, work, your career
Yep,
goals, but also your bodybuilding goals as well. Because just because you're not competing doesn't mean you're taking the foot off the gas. And just because you don't have your
absolutely not.
coach right now doesn't mean you're taking the foot off the gas. You know what phase you're in and the season of life you're in, and you're listening to that.
Yeah, it's definitely been a bit of adjustment, you know, even within this week of not having a coach, you know, because there's, you know, having a coach is obviously huge in bodybuilding, and you know, they they provide you with that other, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? You need, you know, they're holding you accountable, and
Of course.
now, you know, it's just yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been, you know,
It's hard.
yeah, it's
It makes
very
it way
hard.
easier to just order that pizza if you want it, because it's like no
Yeah.
one's there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really, you know, trying to do my best here, and you know, I stick to my plan and everything like that, and you know, but that definitely is a big adjustment here, you know, as you know, but I think, you know, again, I'm mature enough now to, hold myself to that same standard that I would if, I had Justin or whoever looking over me.
Yeah, which is hard, man. A lot of people can't do that. A ton of people, they only want to coach for a show and a show only. I don't think people realize how important coaches are when you're around. I mean, I would say even I don't want to speak for Marcus, but Marcus even only ever had a coach for his preps, and this is the first time he's ever had someone monitoring him, pushing food on him, pulling him back, and I mean, his growth has been ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like way more than it ever has been.
Yeah.
But it's hard, speaking from someone like myself, like I had a coach for 11 years and this is my first time with that one. And it's been almost a year and it's taken me a while to adjust. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think another thing that, like you were saying it too, is like how important it is to have a coach in the off season. It will translate to so much better of a contest prep for you just because with your coach working with you, and doing these things with you in the off season, they're creating a path that is going to make your contest prep so much easier. And people just don't realize that. Like they think they can, do whatever they want in the off season and, roughly hit their goals. But if you're really sticking to a plan, things are going to go way more smooth for you when you start, when you really start having to come
Dude,
down.
it
100%.
literally boggles my mind how many people I've talked to, even like people that have done multiple shows, and they don't understand that you're winning shows in the off season. You're not improving in prep. You're just refining. It's hard to me
Exactly.
that it's crazy that they don't understand that. And when you explain that to them, you can kind of see like the light bulb go off in their head. And it's honestly a lot of times you're to me off season was harder than prep because like there was really no end in
Absolutely.
sight. Like you don't know when it's going to be. You're uncomfortable. You're big. Like Liam, I remember when you were at 200. Like when I
Yeah.
was at 290. Like talk about being miserable and tired all
Yeah.
the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Yeah.
was awful. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, I got to the point where I didn't want to take my shirt off in my own house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When you're sitting down eating your food, you're like, I got to have a shirt on because I cannot see
Yeah,
this belly
yeah,
sticking out,
a hundred percent. So it's
Yep.
hard, it's uncomfortable, but I mean, that's where all the progress is made. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
if you can't do your own off season, come to a coach and expect to prep. Like if I'm gonna prep someone, like I need to work with them for a little
Yep.
bit beforehand.
Yeah.
Um, just because I need to know what's going on. And also like if you come to me fat as shit and you're like, oh, we got 15 weeks, it ain't gonna happen, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I need
It
some
can,
time,
but you're not going to look good,
but you're
or
not
you're
gonna
going to
look good.
suffer, or you're going to really
Oh, you are
suffer.
gonna suffer. Yeah, I mean, I think it's important because like a good coach, like I have people start putting how many weeks out we are, like 35 weeks, so I can keep in track.
Yep.
Oh, okay, I want to clean this up. Okay, I
Absolutely.
know we're already keeping track of our glucose, but it's like let's resensitize you for a second. You know
Yep.
what I mean? It's like we're
Yep.
gearing the body to get ready for prep because if you're not ready and you don't plan enough time, it's like I've had people where I go 6, 7 weeks before I can get their body to like really respond.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know what I
Now
mean?
you
And
got 10
sometimes
weeks left
yeah, yep.
and you're screwed.
So, I
Because
love it, man.
yeah, just with that, even, just what we were saying, let's say you do, you come to a coach 16 weeks, like you said, it might take 5, 6 weeks to get, now you got 10 weeks. And those 10 weeks are probably going to be the most miserable weeks of your 10 weeks of your life so far
Yep.
because, you're doing almost, I've been there, I did that and I've, learned my lesson. There's a reason, that I work with a coach in the off season now because I was doing 2 hours of cardio a day on a Stairmaster. Like that's no joke. So
Dude, it's not. I was actually just talking about that with someone the other day, and it's like it's all genetic too at the same time. Like if you're naturally a fattier guy,
Mm-hmm.
it's just gonna happen. And Marcus and I talk about that all the time because Marcus' last prep, he was like, I had to crush him because he gave me like an impossible feat of coming back from Italy straight to a prep for like
Like
7 weeks.
7 weeks.
yeah,
And
That's
he
my
looked really
second.
good.
That's my second like 7 week prep too.
He looked really good, but you know what? I
It
started crushing him so fast that his body freaked out. He gained like 3 pounds.
yeah.
And then
yep,
I gave him a big refeed. He
It
was
wasn't
freaking out even more.
Yeah.
So it was like, but then that's when it finally got things moving.
It definitely wasn't optimal. And honestly, like I would have not competed then, but I knew that we were going to start trying for a baby this year. So I was like, I can't do it fucking next year. And it was like, well, I can either do it now or not at all. And I knew I could do a 7-week prep. It would be shitty, but like anybody can do something hard for
But
7 weeks.
I also
Exactly.
preface like, hey,
Yeah.
I'll do my best, but I have no promises.
But
even with that 7-week prep, I outweighed Marcus by like 100 pounds, and he had to do a fraction of the cardio I had to do.
Yeah.
And he was eating more food, and that was a 7-week just blowout prep versus I prep for 20 weeks, and I'm still doing that much and eating that much less food. Like some people they just handle things so differently in their bodies.
Like, I mean, coming back to the importance of having a coach in the off season, I mean, I look back at like my pictures from like 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. And I'm like, without a coach in the off season, I didn't have somebody pushing me to grow more. And so it was like anytime I got a little bit soft in my midsection, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do a little mini cut. Back. Yeah, exactly. And like right now, like it's my stomach doesn't look terrible. Like I don't look fucking overweight, but knowing what I look like on stage, like I'm not necessarily happy with my stomach at the moment, but I'm not fucking supposed to be. I got to put on a little bit of fat at this point. Like, but if I didn't have Caleb as my coach right now, it would be very easy for me to say, I'm going to fucking do a little pullback. And so I can feel more confident with my shirt off.
But I've literally told you to shut up.
Exactly.
And we just got to do this.
You just got to get that food down.
And I'm buckled up with it. I'm about to be a daddy, so like having a little bit of softness, not a huge deal with it. Plus, as Nicole's,
but that's where
during it, that's where a good thing I wasn't going the other way.
Yeah, but then it's it's like, and then like 4 more weeks went by, and I was like, hey, you are fatter now than I want. Let's pull back for 3 weeks, and then we push right back up, and now you're heavier than you've been, and you're cleaner.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's it's hard.
There's more room to keep pushing up with it, and honestly, I mean that's just what I always talk about, being comfortable, being uncomfortable. And this is one of those situations where I've kept myself comfortable the last 3 or 4 years. But because of that, even if I look good on, when I do a cut or when I do, a show, it's like I haven't put on much fucking size. And I'm like, that's like 4 wasted years of time I could have been gaining a lot of size with it. So I was like, I can't be doing that shit again. So it's definitely crucial to have a coach in the off season.
Well, now let's kind of move forward. We've been off on a tangent like always, our patented tangents. So Liam and I met. He started going to the gym. God, were we already expanded, or we still have the plastic wall up?
So I had been to the gym a couple times prior, but when we met, I think you had just done the extension.
Because I think I remember meeting you. You were on like the Smith machine. But I think Lindsay signed up when we still had the gray wall.
Yep. She signed up, when you just had that one unit there. So
where were you at the time when she signed up?
I was living in Iowa at the time. Okay. So I graduated high school up in Iowa. I moved back, and then I decided I was going to go to community college up there, and I finished in a year, got a job offer, and I was living up there. Lindsay and I had met from previously. When I went to Emporia State, and that's where she was going. And then we just kind of linked back up and, started to get more serious, even though we were doing the long distance thing. And after a while, I wasn't really happy with what I was doing, job wise. And so I decided, I was like, let's see if I can, get a job in a pretty similar field, but not the same. And I got a job offer here in Kansas City, and then I moved down for the time that Caleb's talking about. I was actually living with my sister because Lindsay had her own place with one of her friends, and her lease was about to, we had been dating for probably like 8 months at that time. So we were going to get our own place together. And, but I was driving from North Kansas City almost, daily to come to Body Shop to work out with Lindsay. Or I think even for a while, I was like, because I wanted to see Lindsay, and I was like paying like a day pass fee to do cardio at Body Shop. And then Caleb came up to me, he's like, dude, he's like, you can just get an addition on to Lindsay's membership, and you'll save yourself so much money. I was like,
yeah, dude, he was dropping so much money on day passes, and it was kind of like, I mean, if you want to give me your money, I'm about it. I liked Lindsay already. Me and Liam had talked a little bit over Instagram, and I liked him. So, I'm just trying to look out. But I love having Liam at the gym. I think he's an amazing member. He's someone that sets the tone for bodybuilding.
I agree.
Not only does he train his ass off, he's strong as shit, which is just fun to watch. And then also like if you have a question, he's someone that you can ask. And I'm not talking like just me. I mean, like if you're just a normal person, like he doesn't fit the mold of most bodybuilders of being like an asshole. So I love having Liam in the gym, and I think one thing that Liam and I really bonded over really quick was like our love for training and our training philosophies, and just the passion and heart that we truly believe is bodybuilding, which is training. It's not the stage; it's the training. Um,
Yeah.
which is why we want to bring him on here today was talk a little bit about his training philosophies, what maybe what most people get into bodybuilding for the vanity. They work out for a month, like I gotta do a show, I need the attention. What made you fall in love with the training, and then how was it when you started? Who were some of the people that you looked up to? Like one of mine is John Meadows. So like who were the people that you really like kind of followed and went with?
Yep. 1 second here. What's up?
What's up, Gianni?
Or they have holes in them? All right, well, take them out or take them outside and leave them out there for a while. All right. Shut the door, please. Or not. All right, I got it. Sorry, fellas.
You're good, bro. You're good.
I like your cow boxers.
Thank you. They're actually shorts, but
I was gonna say you're in your undies on this. Awesome.
I bought the wrong size, so they're a little small.
Where you get them at?
I think they're like Flex Living something. I don't know.
Those are good leg day shorts.
Yeah, I know. I gotta show these suckers off. Yeah, I will.
Hey, man. What's the point of having them if you can't show them off?
So I think honestly, when it comes to training, I've always been attracted to, I think this might come, from when I was younger, a little bit of an ego thing. I want to be able to do stuff that other people can. And that's just, that's kind of how my training philosophy has, evolved. I want to be extremely strong, but I also want to look, like a, classic physique. And I think, luckily I was, blessed with the structure I have to kind of fit that mold, luckily. But when it comes to training, I don't think that there should be any difference between, how classic physique or an open pro or anybody who trains. If you want to be a high level competitor, I don't think that I think that your training needs to have two elements that are, crucial. One, you need to train intensely, and two, you need to just be consistent. Because, I think, and I've heard people say this, they worked out with me one time, or I've worked out with somebody and it's like, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was, right? But you come do that with me every day, or come do that with somebody every day, you know what I mean? And that really, begins to wear on you. But that is what honestly separates the people, who have high level physiques. And there's plenty of people that could have high level physiques, but they just don't push themselves to that point. And I think, that's what I like to do in the gym. I like to find that point, where, I don't want to keep going, but I just do it anyway,
Yep. Well, a lot of
And
people, I feel like they put drugs first over anything. They want to take drugs
absolutely.
before they even understand how to push to failure. And two,
Yep,
like you
yep.
said, it's like it's easy to have one brutal workout, but when you're doing that 4 to 5 days a week, weeks on end, it's like I know, like I trained 4 days a week, and I looked forward to Wednesday because after Monday and Tuesday I was beat
Yeah.
up, and then I looked forward to Saturday because I needed 2 days, because if I would have had to go back in the next day, like I could have, but I know I would have been jacked up. You know what I mean? Like you need that break, and I think not a lot of people realize it, how not hard they're training, and they're training 6, 7 days a week, and I think we both believe the same thing. Like if you're able to train 6 to 7 days a week consecutively for months on end, you're simply just not training hard.
Yep.
No. You can do all this volume, you can do as much volume as you want, but if these sets, don't have reps that really count, these last few reps, where it hurts and where, you don't want to do anymore, then
You're not gonna.
you're not going to get, the maximum out of it. And, that's another thing, I see, especially nowadays, there's so many different, ways to train. Obviously, we got like reps in reserve, and, you train in percentages or whatever, however you want to do that. But in my eyes, I'm like, why would I stop? Why would I leave any reps on the table when I know I can do more? Like, it's it might be, you might get it out, a certain amount out of it, but if, doing these two extra reps gives me even, 0.01% more, why would I not do that? Because that's what bodybuilding is sometimes,
Yeah.
is, that 1%.
They're in pain, and I think we've all been there where it's like you're on a hack squat, or it's usually a leg machine of some sort,
Yeah.
and it's like you're in so much pain that you're like trying to like yell through the rep, but it's like your breath is gone, and it almost
Yep.
sounds like a whimper rather than like
Yeah.
a
Yeah. You're
yell.
like, I'm
You know
done.
what I
I'm
mean?
done.
Yeah, yeah. I love it, man.
What about your exercise selection? Because you carry around a logbook, don't you?
Yeah, yep. I
That's what I
always
thought.
carry around a logbook. Now, I think that is, another huge part of, the way I train, because I'm a very big proponent of progressive overload,
Mhm.
meaning, every week, I have these set workouts, um, and every week I'm trying to do, something better than the last week. There's certain points, where I'm going to be able to do, the best I ever have. But right now I'm just not to that point, just because I'm 20 pounds down or
Yeah.
from my peak. Because we all know how weight moves weight and all that.
Mhm.
But I'm just trying to do something every time I step in the gym. You know, better than the last time. If that means more weight, then that means more weight. If that means another additional rep or two, that mean if it means even a forced rep, or a forced negative, or my tempo improves, that those are all wins to me. And
Yep.
those are all progressing. Those are all a form of progression. So
100%.
That's what I was gonna. If you could dive into the like, I think a lot of people when they hear progressive overload, they think it's just more weight each week,
yeah.
and that's just not possible. So
No.
like, I mean, you just hit on some of them, but like, people don't understand that, if I did 10 reps this week, but I did 10 next week with a pause, that's progression.
Mhm.
If
That's a
I did
huge
10 this week,
progression.
but 10 next week with a 3 second negative, that's progression.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people, they get too frustrated with their progression. And like, for those who don't know, like, I've literally seen Liam like train legs once every 10 days. And I spotted him on squats, and he got 6 last time, and we're literally just trying to get 7 this time.
Mhm.
Yep.
And it's like that 7's a motherfucker. So
Yeah.
it's just,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got to be
absolutely.
patient with it. Eventually, you're adding pennies, and you add enough pennies, you got a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. But to go back to you, exercise selection wise, I'm sticking with the basics.
Yep.
I think that's what, I see so many, kids in here, doing these movements that I'm like, if a sideways chest press or something like that, I'm like, if you just do the machine how it's intended to do, and you get better at it, in some form over, over a period of time, you will look back, and that's also why I keep a logbook. I can see, a 6 month progression, of how much better I've gotten in that movement. And in my eyes, the stronger you get, almost always, the bigger you're going to get,
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
most
As
part.
long
For
as
the
you're
most part,
keeping, as long as you're keeping the form to where it needs to
exactly.
be.
If you're,
That sideways chest press is a funny one because so many people do it, and they're like, I'm trying to build an inner chest. And my argument
or
is,
yeah,
why you want an inner chest, you have to build a chest. Like,
yes,
no one ever just has a gargantuan upper shelf and nothing. No one ever has a giant lower pec and nothing above. No one
Or
ever
a
even
yeah,
giant
has like
outer and not
a,
inner.
a huge
yeah,
cleavage from a pec and nothing on the outside. Like, if you want
yes,
to build these, you got to build a fucking pec first, and
Yeah.
then we can work on
absolutely.
refining it.
That's pretty much, I have a client right now who, because I do some coaching on the side, just a little bit. But I have a client right now, he's like 6 foot, 170 pounds. And we had this discussion the other week. He was just telling me he's like worried about, his triceps are, falling behind to his biceps and, his shoulders. I'm like, all
Your whole
right,
body's
let's scratch all that, let's just get big everywhere first, and then we can worry about,
You can fine tune after that.
these fine tuning things, because even me now, I did kind of transition my training just a little bit here recently, just because of, my circumstances.
Mhm.
But even me, I'm training push pull legs still because I'm not, I do have some additional, arm work because that's what I need to build the most. But I'm still just focused on the basics and just focus on putting on size overall. I don't really care, where it goes. I just want to keep getting bigger right now. So
Yeah, of course. What do you keep consistent, like rep ranges and things of that nature? How, same amount of working sets most weeks for the most part?
yeah. So for the most part, I'll do there's some movements that I do. I'm not afraid to go a little bit lower of a rep. I really love pulling from the floor. I do SLDLs from the floor. So I'm not afraid, to get that down to like 4 or 5 reps just to, get onto some new weight because I think that's important. Sometimes, you can, have your 8 to 12 rep range and you're really struggling to progress. Let's just, put on something, to do 4 reps just to get used to, using a heavier load here.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I am, I'm around that 8 to 12 mark. I'm not afraid for these bigger compound movements to dip a little lower than that. Like 6 is usually where I like to go the lowest, but unless I'm really just trying to, do
really
some
push
new
that
load
in.
or something like that. And then there's also some movements that I think are just, better, if you do higher rep stuff as well, a little less rest period, like delts. Besides a pressing movement, I think you're honestly gonna get way more out of, some higher rep, 15
Yep.
to 20 rep, stuff for your rears and your laterals. But, for the most part, yeah, I'm just sticking to that 8 to 12. I do throw some intensifiers in, based on, my recovery capabilities, first of all. And then second of all, just the movement and stuff like that. So like a push day for me, I would do like a chest press and I would do probably like 2 chest presses and then a fly. But on that second chest press, I would probably just do 1 set with like a double rest pause or a double drop or something just to get, a good base and then, just a ton of blood flow in there and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and that keeps training a little bit interesting as well.
Exactly.
Which has to be a component of what we're all doing, as much as like the progression and all that stuff. Like we have to also enjoy what we're doing and mix it up just a little bit with some of those different intensifiers with it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll always have clients, and again, like I don't train competitors, and if I did, my conversations look a little bit different with it. But they're like, yeah, this workout plan isn't that hard. I'm like, well, your intensity is not there. Then, like, you're not picking heavy enough weights. Like, I could go and do 3 sets of something and make that a hard fucking workout just by doing 3 working sets of something if your intensity is in the right place and your execution's there. So, but
It's really funny that you say that because I actually, Caleb, you'll probably know about this. I don't know so much about you, Marcus, just because it's kind of nuanced stuff. But I actually transitioned to right now I'm doing some DC training. So basically what this is, I still do the push pull legs and I'm on 4 days a week. So I do push pull off, legs off, and then so sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 4, just depending on the week, um but my workouts are like 6 sets. 6, and that's, obviously I'm not
6 working sets.
yeah, like maybe, like 5 or 6 working sets. And I'll tell you what, dude, I don't know if it's just because, my recovery capabilities aren't in the, a great spot right now, just because I'm still kind of, reverse dieting a little bit and just trying and still got some cardio in. But I am fried every day after I leave that gym. Like I'm doing 1 set with a double rest pause and that's it. And it is extremely hard. So if you're, and that's what me and you kind of were talking the other day, we talked about this, intensity and how it's so, underused pretty much, like you can come do these 6 sets of me and you tell me afterwards if you want to do more.
Yeah.
Especially,
Yeah.
somebody who's saying
Yes.
like, this isn't hard.
Yeah.
Like, I can almost guarantee you're probably going to say no, especially, on like a leg session or something like that, something that's, incredibly difficult.
Of course.
You're going to say no. So,
yeah, no, I agree. And I think, one of my questions I was going to ask here soon, I can just ask it now is, do you think everyone can do that type of training? Because I personally believe that there's a very small percentage that can do that and get, whether it be the lower volume, I would just call it low volume approach.
yeah, for sure.
I a very small percentage that can train low volume and get away with it, if that makes sense, and
Yeah,
progress.
I absolutely agree. You have to be willing to, take these sets where they need to be, because even with me, I do have that little bit higher of a frequency. I'm hitting things every 5 days, but even if I'm, let's say, I'm doing 80% of what I really could be, even though I'm hitting it more frequently, like there's no way that is making up for the 20%, that I'm losing, not, doing that. So I do think it takes, some, an individual, first of all, that's, highly motivated, internally motivated, because when you're on a hack squat and you got, you say you're gonna, your logbook says I did 14 reps last week, I got to do 15 this week, or I got to,
Like,
it
fuck. Like
sucks.
you don't,
It
it gets to a point where you get so strong. And I mean, I know pound for pound, I'm not as strong as Liam, but when I was at my strongest, it's like you don't even want to do it because it's like
no,
you just look at it and you
Mhm.
get nervous and you
yep, you
just
get
know it's gonna suck.
anxiety.
Yeah.
You get anxiety. You're like,
I used
even,
to I
sometimes,
get anxiety
it's
like
2 days
hours before the
before.
session. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah. It's
like,
like,
God damn it,
fuck,
I got
dude.
legs in 2 days. I gotta get on that hack, and I gotta hack squat 6 plates. I'm like, I don't want to do that, but
And then
I'm
the
gonna
night
do it
before, it's like,
anyway.
I hope my sleep's good. I need to get my meal
Yes,
timing
yes.
in. I need to get
I
my
need to make
hydration
sure I get
done.
all my water right now.
I think another thing that people underestimate with the low volume approach is that it's to me, it's an intermediate to advanced type of training.
Absolutely.
Um,
Definitely.
because I tried to do DC when I was younger, and I was calling my mind muscle connection, my neural connections
Yep.
weren't that good, and my joints were just pulverized. I'm talking like
Yep.
I would leave and I couldn't even feel my muscle. I could feel my joints.
Yep. Yep.
So I know personally, like when I get newer clients who are younger, I go strict high volume because they need to learn pain tolerance. Because
Yep.
if you haven't pushed past your barriers, if you don't know when you're going to break, then I don't think you can really do low volume and get what is needed to be done.
I absolutely agree. I think, like you need, if you want to be a high level competitor, first of all, I could care less how you train, but you need to be intense and you need to know where your, thresholds are,
Mhm.
and oftentimes, these younger guys, they have no idea yet until they, train with somebody who does, and shows them. That's honestly one of my favorite things is, I do have this kind of, resting bitch face when I'm at the gym just because I'm, so focused or whatever. But when people ask me to spot them, it's one of my favorite things because it might not be their favorite thing for what's about to happen, but I'm gonna make sure that you you do what you need to, and that's honestly one of my favorite things because I can think of a set right now. I can think of the kid. I can see his face. He was, yeah, I got a burnout set here on the hack squat, and he had a plate on, And I said, oh, how many do you think you're gonna get? I don't know, like 10 to 12. I made him
Not
do
a
like
burnout.
30 fucking reps, dude. And he was done after that. He was done after that. So yeah.
But that's what it is, man. I think it's
Yeah.
important also to be able to get someone to spot you if you don't have a training partner that you can trust. Like when I know if Marcus isn't there, if Liam's there, I'm going to ask him to spot me all the time because I
Yep.
know even if I want to bitch out on a set, he won't let me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yep.
I think that's
Exactly.
important. You need to be able to read the body. Like when you think you're done, you probably have at least five more. Now, I know Liam knows that like I know when I'm hitting failure, I get like full body like shakes, like my entire
Yep.
body is convulsing. And
Yep.
I know he gets it a little bit too, and it's just finding that next level. And it's funny you said that. I think with the hack squat too, you guys know we have a young girl. She comes to our gym. Her name's Ella, and she's fucking strong. And she was on the hack squat. She did like two plates aside for like 10. She's like, "Oh, that was so hard." And I was like, "No, no, it wasn't. Throw another plate on."
Could have done
What?
more.
Yeah.
And she did, dude. She did three plates aside for 11, and I
Good
was like,
God.
Yep. There
"There
you
you
go.
go." Yeah,
Sometimes it's that's another, sometimes you just need somebody to show you, show you
it's a
what you really
confidence
got.
thing, man. Because
Oh,
it's like,
definitely.
especially with leg training, it's like I could die. I could die right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
Y'all got
I
me
mean,
fucking excited to go work out right now. I already worked out this morning, but I'm
sure,
like,
you
just
guys
want to
are
go fucking
fucking.
lift some weights.
You guys are short. You guys are short as fuck, so you can bottom all the machines out. But my
Yeah, that's true.
tall fat
Yeah,
ass,
no
it's like if
kidding.
I get stuck, it's like I'm not getting out of this thing. Someone's got to pull it off
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point. I
No,
mean,
but
you're both reminding me of like, because I used to have training partners, and I haven't had one in a handful of years, just because like just timing doesn't work, or like I'm going to fucking work in the morning, early in the morning. I got to go get a really early morning workout, and I don't like. I feel like anytime I've ever been like, all right, I'm gonna go work out with so and so, I fucking tweak something like the day before. So like I hate having that on the like on the calendar and then having
yeah.
it go on it, or just the timing not
Well,
working.
I mean, even when we trained together last summer for a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
couple weeks, it was like it's a big change. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
100% your intensity is there, your focus is much better with it. And then again, like I might not, want to push that day, or mentally just not thinking that I can push that day. And then it's helpful to have that partner with it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but I
I think
mean,
that's a huge proponent of low volume training as well.
Yeah.
Um, probably not the brightest thing to do if you don't have people around you that first of all know how to spot you, or
Yeah.
people you just trust in general.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge part of it.
there's only
And
so many dress for a top set, like really.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I will say the body shop does have a good atmosphere of a lot of people. Really, any given time of day you go in there, that you can be pretty confident with it. But then also,
Yep.
I don't know what my second thing I was going to say with that.
I just think it's hard, man. It's
Friendly enough to be able to ask somebody. Like you're not just like
yeah.
this hardcore dickhead that like I don't want to go ask him. Like that's not what body shop is.
I think a good spot goes a long way. Whether it's you need a lift off from the bottom of a dumbbell press, or it's a pendulum, or it's like you need someone who kind of understands training. And I understand not everyone's going to do that. And I think it's important for people to continually learn how to be a better spot. It's like how to watch a bar path, how to watch the movement. If you're spotting someone, don't let them stay static and pressing for 5 seconds. Like
Yeah.
as soon as like if I'm spotting Liam, as soon as I start to see that bar like really, really slow, I'm gonna come in and assist right then. Because
Yep.
yeah, okay, maybe he's not getting the rep completely by himself, but he's gonna get at least three more versus like if I just let him stall, he's gonna get one more. So you're actually being a better person, and they're getting more out of it by coming in and picking it up. Plus, it's like from an injury aspect, it's not good to be maxed out, just fucking
just struggling,
static holding it.
Yeah. No shit. Yeah.
That's
how you blow something.
Yeah.
Like
Case
a
in
pec
point,
or something.
my pec, I was pausing at the bottom of the stretch.
Yep.
And right before I drove it back up, it popped.
Yep. Yeah, no shit. Well, let's transition to kind of another topic with this. We got two more things, at least on my list, that I want to talk about. Number one, you mentioned earlier, you alluded to the fact that you coach a little bit of clients. What who do you train? What made you want to get into coaching? Yeah, give us that.
So yeah, I have a little company. It's Kraus Coaching Company. I have a page on Instagram, but I am honestly really horrible about doing anything with it, to be completely honest with you. I'd say coaching wise, my niche is definitely, younger guys, who want to get bigger or get in shape and stuff like that, around that high school, to early adulthood. Just because, I can relate to them, and I was in their shoes, and I know, how beneficial it would have been to, to have somebody, guiding me and, showing me, the way to do things, I wouldn't say correctly, but in a way, that
Okay,
is
correctly.
going to produce results. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's also
so
fun
yeah,
to be able to train the people that are more alike, like you, and like where you've kind of come.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I've tried to coach some some other people doing some lifestyle stuff,
Mhm.
and it's just really hard, especially with, who I am, and I'm a, like, 100% or nothing, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
I know you're the complete opposite, obviously, and you know how to,
Very,
reason, or
very patient. Very, very patient.
patient, yeah, and I'm
Very
not
patient.
so much,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
not that I'm gonna sit here and be a hard ass to you.
Of course.
I
Yeah.
obviously things come up in life and stuff like that, but that's definitely my niche. I don't really care if you're a bodybuilder. I don't care if you're a power lifter. I don't care
Yeah.
if you're a CrossFitter. You know, as long as you're willing to work hard with me, and
Yeah. Hell yeah.
listen, and adhere to a plan, then I'm sure things between us would be just fine.
Yeah.
And what drove me to coaching, honestly, is just I've had some coaches in my life that were very impactful, and I like helping people out, and I'm so passionate about bodybuilding, and it's the biggest part of my life besides my family. I don't do anything else really. I bodybuild, and I stay at home and watch movies, and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it feels good to be able to take my passion for this and kind of make it to where it can be impactful to younger kids and younger guys.
Love that. That's
Dude, and
awesome.
I think that's why it's great to have people like you at Body Shop, because
Hmm.
I know a lot of people, they're like, oh, these fucking high schoolers. It's like, dude, I love these high schoolers. Like
Yeah,
that's probably my favorite part about owning a gym is not it's not the money aspect. It's like how many younger people are you like we are able to be such a positive influence to
Yeah.
so many young people and
yep,
teach them life lessons. Like, we had people ask Tatiana's had guys ask her how to talk to a girl that they like. I've had them ask me about life lessons, financial stuff, like, hey, I think I want to do this. What do you think? Hey, what book should I read? Hey, what protein should I take? Like,
Hmm.
there's so many things, and you're able to leave such a lasting impression on these kids. And some of these kids may not have a strong male figure at home,
yep,
and it's like they look to their gym bros to be that figure. And it's like, do you want to be? I think all growing up, once we got in the gym, there was like the gym bros that we looked at, and there was like one really impactful one, and there was one that you
yep,
liked, but he was just like a shithead in real life.
yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like, which one are you going to be? And it's like you have such a big opportunity to be impactful on people. Like, I mean, it's great, man.
I think
Yeah.
the energy of it. I always love getting to see like the younger kids in there, like the high school age kids and stuff, because I'm like, I fucking loved working out. I mean, I love working out now, but like I loved it then because I'm like I didn't have any other responsibilities. I had 2 hours. I could just go hang out in
Exactly.
the gym and just enjoy things. I mean, was I training necessarily the right way? Probably not, because I was doing like 2 hours worth of training and it could have been more intense, but it was
Come on.
fun. And so I like seeing that, with
What,
kids and things
Gianni?
of that nature.
1 second. Sorry,
You're
fellas.
You're
good.
good. You're good, bro. You're good. But yeah, so I always think that's a blast watching the younger kids there at the body shop and
Dude, it's so much fun. I had a consult, I think Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday night, I had a consult with a kid in California. He's 18. And he's like, oh, I'm following this guy and this guy, I'm doing high volume. Should I do more sets? Should I do this? What
yeah.
do you think about this? And I was like, dude. And I honestly told him, I was like, I need you to shut up. And I was like, you are so young and you know absolutely nothing, which is such a blessing
Yeah.
because like you're at an
Yep.
age right now and you're so new and unimpressionable or impressionable that like the more you know, it's almost like the less fun bodybuilding gets.
Yep.
Like I remember when I
Absolutely.
first started, I knew nothing about what I thought overtraining was. I knew nothing. I just
Yeah.
ate. I trained as hard as I could. It was probably dog
As
shit,
often as you
but
could.
the effort was there, and I had fun. And
Mhm.
as
Yep.
I got older and I learned more, I was more nitpicky. I was more hypercritical.
Yeah.
Now I can't go through a prep without destroying myself.
Yep.
And I'm posing the day before the show, and Liam's like, you guys are like, oh, you look good. And I'm like, I look like shit. It's like you
Yep.
can really never be happy. Like
Yeah.
these kids are such a young age that they don't know a lot. And it's like just live in that fact. Just have fun, be reckless, like
It's
and
just
just train.
passion. It's
Yeah.
just
Just
passion
passion,
at that
man.
point, And
Yes.
now, for us, probably all of us, it's like more of a job. You know what I mean? That's how
Yeah.
I view it. It's like this is a full-time job for me. I don't miss meals. I don't,
Yeah.
miss training sessions. I don't miss cardio sessions, even when I don't want to. Just like most, you don't miss days of work unless something
Yeah.
absolutely crazy happens, and that's how I view it. You know what I mean?
Of
It's
course.
just
Yeah.
a
Well,
job.
think of the verbiage that you were literally just using. When we were 18, it was, oh, we're gonna work out. We're gonna go work out today. Oh, you want to work out? Like you want to eat anything. And now it's like, what time are you training? What time are we
Yeah,
training?
yeah,
And it's like before you go to bed, you map out your entire day of food
Yep.
around your training window. Not even
yep,
work, on the
Yep.
training window.
Yep.
yep,
Like, so yeah,
exactly.
you look at it as a job, and it's like,
Yeah.
sometimes I miss like waking up at 5 a.m. and drinking a grape juice on the way
Yeah.
to work
Yeah, yeah.
to work out in the
I
morning,
Yeah, I
eating
used
like
to
a
eat like an
foot long
apple
sub
and
and
a
think I was getting
protein
huge.
bar.
I think
Yeah,
the I
I
think that
used I used to eat 2 McChickens on my way to the gym, and it was like a 10-minute drive.
oh, that's
Yep.
fucking awful.
Yeah,
And just eat. I would have I would get like a Tupperware container full of rice cakes, but I would get all the different flavor ones and I'd break them up and I would just be on my way to the gym and I'd just be
like a
munching on
cereal.
rice cake. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I think our passion and our joy is 100% still there. It just looks different and it feels different.
Absolutely.
You know,
I
we
wouldn't
just
we're
over
do
we
getting
just
joy from a
overthink it
different
now.
thing. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
We
How
I
we
dare
wouldn't
get
you
do
joy
the
go
from
in?
things
bright
I did.
spots.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
how
do
dare
the
you go
things
in
I
and hit
did
a
if I
work?
didn't.
Yeah.
No, but how dare you go in and hit a workout without your logbook? How dare you go in and hit a workout without your
That's
pre-workout, your
Or doing a
workout
fucking like
drink?
getting actually warmed up.
Yeah, yeah.
I love
Yeah.
the days I could just drop a gym bag and say, all right, what are we hitting?
Yep, here we go. We're starting on bench. Let's grab
Oh,
the 50-pound dumbbells. I'm like,
and
no chance.
now my body just hurts going in there. I'm like, I
Yes,
got to do all
everything
the.
hurts.
I get so pissed. I'm like, my fucking groin is messed up, and I'm like, I stretch more than anybody I know. Like, I stretch every single day, especially the past couple of months. I'm like, I do mobility work. I'm doing foam rolling. I'm like, why do things still fucking tweak on me? So
Because
irritating.
you're old, man. You're
I
old.
know. Yeah, being 29, it fucking sucks.
Yeah, I
I'm more
remember
five
when I
foot
was in
39.
Florida. I moved from Indiana to Florida. I drove 18 hours. I ate like one meal. I got to sleep at like 3 a.m. I was at my guy's house, who's actually Tatiana's uncle by marriage. We knew each other that long. And he trained me, or I guess you could say trained me. He was getting trained by Lane Norton at the time, so I basically just followed his stuff and I got really fat. Um, and he's like, "Did you eat?" And I was like, "Yeah, I drank some grape juice on the way here." And we went and trained, and I maxed out on bench press. And I had no fluid, no food, just a
Yeah.
grape juice. And
That
like the
it's
thought of, well, especially now the thought of doing that, but even like a year ago, like there's no way.
Oh
yeah.
no.
I've done so many dumb things like that too. I can
Yeah.
think of two, like the last two times me and Lindsay moved. This is just idiotic. But I was, I
This
think
wasn't
I
even that
was
long ago, bud.
no, this was like a year
Yeah.
or two ago, and I'm just so fucking stubborn, man. It's like we had to move that day, and we lived on the third floor of an apartment. And so, I'm moving the couch all day, so we got the stuff loaded up.
Only moved the couch all day. You didn't move anything else.
Well, you know what I
I
meant.
just couldn't find a
Heavy
spot they
stuff.
liked it.
Yeah, we could not find it where we wanted it. No, but we got the truck loaded up, and I think I was either beginning a diet or something like that. So once that happens, you're tunnel vision. And I had legs that day, and I hit legs in between. I got the truck loaded up, we parked it, and then we went and hit legs, and then I had to move everything up 3 flights of stairs after that.
Right.
So I mean, I've just done so many
Missing it.
stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We were all
pulled
Tupperware Thanksgiving.
Yep. Yeah. I've never done that. Never done that.
I
I'll
feel it with
I'll
you.
stick to my meals,
I've
or I'll
never
stick to my turkey and stuff.
I've never done like a prep or cut over the holidays, so I've never had to like fiddle with that shit.
Yeah, I never really have it. 4th of
I
July
I
was just
wasn't
pretty
prepping. I was in
miserable,
my
but
off season. I was just
You
that
were just
hardcore.
dedicated. You were just fucking hardcore with it. I remember one
yeah.
time, this would be at least my last thing, and then I got another question for you, Liam. But we
Yep.
my buddy and I were drinking, it was like early college, and there was a snowstorm that night, and we were up all night drinking, pulled an all-nighter, and like 7 a.m, we were like sobered up at that point. We're like, let's go fucking hit a workout. A blizzard is outside. He drove like a I think a Mustang or a Charger at the time. We get to the gym, we go in, had a horrible workout, like trying to just do heavy bench on like nothing but alcohol essentially at that point. And then we go out to the car, and now it's at like 8 a.m. after pulling all nighter, I've been drinking all night, and fucking we can't get up the hill at the Vivian Road Gold's Gym. So we're just stuck in the parking lot for 2 hours until we could finally get out of there. It was miserable. It was miserable, but it was so stupid. But it was fun just to be like,
it was so fun.
Yeah,
exactly.
Isn't it funny though how
situations like that?
Yeah,
nothing now is going to stop you from training. You know
Dude,
what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that would.
like
that would.
No, it
like
was
that.
well that, but like 2 weeks, after we opened Body Shop, it was like New Year's Day, and I didn't drink that night. We woke up, and I woke up at 7 to come train legs, and I brought Tatiana, Maximus. I think I met Lance up there, and it was like a foot of snow. Everything was shut down. And I was like, and they're like, her parents like, oh, be safe today. I'm like, oh, we're going to train.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I drove through. I drove one time. This is when I was living in Iowa to go, going to college, and I had a training partner, and we were in our YMCA where we trained at closed early that day because of the storm. So we lived an hour and 15 minutes away from Des Moines, and that was the closest place a gym was open. So we drove to Des Moines in middle of a blizzard, and I didn't get home that night till like 11 p.m. But I was like, dude, we can't.
What a
We
good
can't.
ass session.
We couldn't possibly miss, legs one day. We couldn't just push it back. No way,
Well, not only that, but you paid for that day pass, so you used every leg piece they had in that gym.
Exactly, and they had a hack squat, and my gym didn't. Oh, it was amazing.
Dude, I don't know how many times people come to Body Shops with legs on a day pass, and they've done like 13 exercises because they want to use every leg piece we have.
Use it all. I know exactly what
you go down the row. They start at the donkey. They just go pendulum,
just keep
leg
going
press,
down,
hack squat, hip press, squat press. Yeah,
all of it. I think my last question for you, brother. Obviously you got a son. How have you balanced out? Obviously, you just kind of pulled back from what you had been doing for that reason. I mean, between that and school and everything else, it's like you only got so many burners on the stove. You got to move shit around to work. But so how has that been? Raising him. I love seeing him at the gym. You guys bring him to the gym every single day with you, whether you're just doing cardio that day or you're working out. And I always went to the gym with my parents, but I'd be like in the daycare. Like I couldn't really see the workout floor. All I wanted to do was see the workout floor and like see what my parents were doing. So I think it's so awesome. Like when Max is there, when what's his name again? Gianni.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gianni.
So it's when Max and Gianni are there, like just even if they're not like actually watching, they're just around it 24/7. So that's going to be ingrained in them and a part of their life. Like we're going to the gym today. That's what we do. That's how we live life. So I think that's awesome. So shed a little bit of light on that. And, how do you guys, because obviously both you and Lindsay, you guys work out, you take everything very, very serious. So how have you kind of taught that? Is it more just role modeling it? Do you talk about it much? What's your approach?
Yeah. Honestly, I think a lot of it is just unintentional, to be honest with you, just because, this is such a big part of Lindsay and I's life that, and what are we going to do? Leave him in a daycare so we can go to the gym? No, we obviously want to spend as much time with him as we can. But I do think it's so, so beneficial for him to be there. Is he, sitting there, watching me and, doing all that? He does watch me sometimes, but he's got his tablet, and he's most of the time he's just sitting over there gaming away, and stuff like that. But I do think it's, hopefully, I really hope that he does see, the benefits of, as he gets older. And, I really hope that he does, want to make it, something that he does. Now, am I going to push him to do bodybuilding? Absolutely not. I'm not going to. That's probably the last thing that I want him to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope he can just enjoy his life.
Yes. He doesn't need to be, weighing out all his food and shit like that. But he probably will because he sees us do it every day.
Well, at minimum, just his choices. Like even if he's not as like
exactly,
diligent as that is, like he I'm sure that his nutrition, like what he chooses to eat, is just better because he's not seeing his parents eat fucking McDonald's every single day of his life.
Yeah, exactly. And we, that's another part of it. We really try, he does get, still a child,
He's still a
I'm
kid.
not gonna,
He's gonna eat
I'm
fun
not gonna
stuff.
make him eat, chicken, broccoli, and
Yes.
rice, by
Yes.
any means. He's still gonna get some good food, but we definitely, every week we try to, sit down, think of some ideas, and prep him, food for the week. So he's having a good solid meal every night.
Mhm.
He's eating a good breakfast. We have him drink like this little, protein shake drink in the morning that he
Yeah.
really likes.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we're just trying to, obviously it's my job.
What's can I ask what's in that protein shake?
I would have to look. I think I can't even remember what no, it's just like a ready to drink, shake. Like I don't
It's
make
for,
it
but
for
it's like
him.
for kids or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
would have
really?
I can send you a picture of it later. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
send it
like
to me. I want to check that out.
yeah, for sure. Um but yeah, I think we're just, it's my job especially, I'm not his real father, but he spends a lot more time with me than he does his actual father.
Mhm.
I think it's my, job to shape him in a way that I think, will make him the best human later on in life and the best
Definitely.
man. And I think, being, active and, weight training and, and choosing, nutrient dense food,
Mhm.
healthy foods to eat, that right there is already putting you a step ahead of,
99% of
95% of
yeah.
people, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Yeah.
obviously, he gets treats and stuff like that. I'm not, just, torturing him over here, making him eat six
Of
meals a day
course.
or anything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah. Eat it.
But,
Eat it.
yeah, you
Eat
will
the
eat these
chicken.
eggs.
No, but
I
at the end
know
of the
it's
day,
dry. Finish it.
you're not gonna mindlessly let him eat like goldfish for hours or chips or
Yeah,
hours or
no
Yeah,
like
way.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they
no.
get they get cookies and ice cream, sometimes, but like, if Max got a cookie, then later he doesn't need to have ice cream either. It's like if
Exactly,
he already
exactly.
Balance. It's
have
you're
his he
just teaching
if
healthy
he has
balance.
choices, yeah, it's like, and we run into that a lot with family. It's like, oh, well, we want to go for ice cream. Okay, well, we already did this earlier, so I think we'll pass. Or,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, we got ice cream, and then later it's like, oh, I have candy. It's like, no, you already had your ice cream for the day. You're
No,
not getting both.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, And I think that's, I'm just, even though I'm not, his biological father, I'm just trying to, raise him in a way, to make him, the best possible person later on in life. And I think that's, a job as a father, and sometimes, that's not, fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, Caleb and Marcus, you're going to experience this later. You don't ever want to have to tell your kid, no,
Yeah, of
or
course.
and you don't want to, discipline them, but that's just a part of,
Being a parent.
being a parent and being a father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's understanding your kid and realizing their habits. Max will be like, I want chips. Like after dinner, he'll be like, he'll want chips, and I'm like, no, you don't need chips. How about some fruit?
Yep.
No, okay, well then you're not hungry. You just want the junk. You know what I
Yeah, yeah,
mean? So it's
exactly.
like,
Yep.
but
Yep.
it's hard. I think we need more strong men in America. Clearly, I think the old shot that America needs is a shot of testosterone and not a any
Yeah,
other thing
Marcus.
that we shouldn't say. It's just, it's hard to find like men who want to be men and take care of their stuff. And, I'm a firm believer, and a lot of people say that toxic masculinity is an issue. I think the lack of masculinity is an issue.
Yep.
A lot of people who have behavioral problems. There are literally statistics that show they don't have a strong male figure in their life.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a father in their life. And you know what? How much different would some kids be if, maybe they just got their ass beat a little bit when they were younger, you know what I
Yep.
mean, by their dad. The mom can only do so much. When you're a single parent, it's like,
Yep.
it's hard. It's really
You
hard.
know,
So it's like you
c-
need that strong figure sometimes. Not to
especially,
say women aren't strong. Women are strong,
But
yes.
but
but
having yeah.
women can never fully be a dad,
Yep.
but I don't think dads can ever fully be a mom. So
No,
it's
definitely
like,
not.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say
They
that
both have their roles.
one-sided.
Yeah.
They both have their roles and they both do things differently.
Mhm.
Yep. And especially me, coming from a divorced family, my dad was way more strict with me than my mom was, but I spent a lot more time with my mom,
Mhm.
and because of that,
Yeah,
I
because she
kind of
wasn't strict.
exactly, and because of that, I kind of grew up to be a little bit of a shithead when I was younger, you know. But then anytime I was around my father, you know, because he, you know, disciplined me when I was younger, and you know, he demanded respect out of me and those kind of things, you know, I would act, you know, appropriately. So, you know, it's so hard, especially for me, you know, to because he, you know, he doesn't view me as his father yet. You know what I mean? Because he is, you know, 6 or 7, and
Yeah.
I'm just been in the picture a couple of years. So it's really hard for me, you know, sometimes to, you know, have to discipline him and that kind of thing because, you know, it kind of feels like, you know, I'm just this big, mean, bad guy, you know. But and you know, I've had this discussion with him. He's like, you know, I don't want to be these things. I don't want to be big and mean, but if that's what I have to do to make sure that you're growing up the way that you need to be,
Yeah.
then I absolutely will. Because when he's not here and he's with his father, you know, he gets to do whatever he wants. He gets to eat like shit. He gets to stay up however late he wants,
Yeah.
you know, all these negative things. And I gotta, you know,
You gotta
every time he
balance it
comes
out.
back, I gotta, yep, reinforce it back,
Yeah.
these good habits back. So
He'll. I mean, if he doesn't
Unfortunately,
appreciate it at 7, he will the older and older.
yeah, I was
absolutely.
gonna say,
And we realize
unfortunately,
that.
he won't understand that for 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. Lindsay and I talk about this all the time, you know,
Yeah.
obviously, you know how it is when you're, you know, 7, 8 years old, you think your dad is absolutely the coolest person in the
Of
world. And
course. Yeah.
even if he's not, you know, like in this case, um, you know, I can't do anything to, you know, change his mind. And I don't
Yeah.
really want to do
Yeah.
anything to change his mind besides, you know, keep acting the way I am. And hopefully, you know, he starts to realize it on his own, like, hey,
Yeah.
like this path over here is not leading me to where I want to be later in
Yeah.
life, and this one is. So
Yeah.
I think that speaks to your character too, because that's a really hard dynamic. I've never had to deal with it. Marcus hasn't had to deal with it, but
Yeah.
I hate when I see parents who, they're dating someone or they're married to someone who is not their kid's biological father or mother, vice versa, whatever it may be, because there are some single dads out there. And the spouse either refuses to discipline the child
yep,
or the parent will not let them discipline the
Mm.
child because they're not their parent. And I just feel
Yeah.
like that's very hard. And if you're going to be a fixture in their life, you can't just be a doormat all the
Yeah.
time. Like you have to take care of things when they need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yep,
Especially like Liam with your situation, like if he's not getting that figure where he needs it, where it's supposed to come from, it's got to come from somebody.
Yeah.
yep.
You know,
And I take a lot of pride in that, you know, and I try to be, you know, the best father I can, you know, and because I did have I did have a good father in my life. You know, there's always good with the bad, you know, but he definitely shaped me to be the man I am today,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty proud of who I am now. And so I just try to kind of mold myself after some of the things my dad did that I see, you know, positively impacted me. And I just, you know, try to leave out some of the negative things as well, you know, and just kind of create my own path for him. And hopefully, you know, he realizes, you know, eventually that, you know, even
yeah.
though I'm big and mean, that, you know, that it's for the best.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good shit, gentlemen. Caleb, you got anything else? Liam, you got anything else you want to chat about? I think
I
that's
think so.
Liam, I mean,
yeah.
if people are interested in working with you or talking to you, or
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you do a lot of stuff for just questions. Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, probably. I mean, I do have the Kraus coaching company page, but honestly, it'd probably just be better if you reach out to me either in person. You know, if you see me at Body Shop, and you know, don't be don't be afraid to come up and say hey, or
His
you
legs are
know,
big, but he's really
and
nice.
but my heart's big too,
There it
Marcus.
is.
So
There it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it
Don't
is.
be
or
afraid to say hi unless he's getting in trouble.
yeah, if you see
Then just
Lindsay
steer
yelling
clear.
at me, yeah, just stay away because we don't want none of
Yeah.
that either. But
I love
yeah,
how it's
either
like
that.
we're all the men and we're all scared of our women.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
100%.
But
Except for
either that or send me a DM on Instagram, and we can get something worked out. Um, like I said, my niche is these younger guys. Just trying to get into this, or and so I'm pretty flexible with some things. So Yeah, I'm looking to take on a few more people. I'm not trying to have 100 clients by any mean or anything like that, but I am looking to take on a few more guys that would be willing to, just work hard and stick to a plan.
Fucking A, dude. Well, thanks for being on, man, today. Thanks for your time and giving us
Yeah, it was a lot of
luck,
fun.
dude. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, thank you, man. We're lucky to have you on. We're lucky to have you as a member as well. So we appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, brother. Well, I'll see you gentlemen in the gym.
Yes, sir. I'm about
All
to
right,
go
guys.
right now.
All right.
Go
See you
earn the
there.
banner. Earn
Yeah,
your banner.
I know it. I got it. I got
New
back
hashtag.
today, so
Earn the
earn the
banner.
banner.
That's a good hashtag. That's a good hashtag.
Yeah, ain't bad.
All right, boys. I'll see y'all
Talk
later.
to you guys
All right.
later.
Yes, sir. Bye.